3, 1. I wish to the Lord I'd never been born or died when I was young. I never would have seen your sparkling blue eyes or heard your lying tongue. Well, all the good times are past and gone. All the good times are on. All the good times are past and gone. Little darling, don't you weep no more. Now don't you see that turtle dove flying from pine to pine? It's morning for its own true love, just like I mourn for mine. Well, all the good times are past and gone. All the good times are on. All the good times are past and gone. Little darling, don't you weep no more.
Alright, everyone out there in Banjo Land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with another backup lesson. We're going to work on the great old bluegrass song, All the Good Times Are Past and Gone. It's a great old song in 3/4. Definitely has some very happy lyrics. All the good times are past and gone. Classic bluegrass song. Very happy sounding melody, very dark, depressing lyrics, right? But this is a great song to practice backup because it's in the 3/4 time signature. I would call this maybe advanced beginner, intermediate level difficulty, but I know a lot of beginner players out there, I know I did this, they kind of avoid playing in 3/4. It's like, oh, it took me that long to play in 4/4. I don't want to bother with 3/4. I'll learn that later. But this is a great song to dive into playing in 3/4. We're just going to make a couple subtle modifications to a lot of the classic rolls we know so we can adapt our Scruggs rolls and licks to 3/4 time. This song also uses the same chord progression as Amazing Grace, so you could play the backup for this song, or I did another lesson for Amazing Grace. There's a lot of similarities, and you could combine them to create your own as well. We're going to go through 4 times through the backup, so 2 verses and 2 choruses. It's actually the same chords the whole time, so you'll have a whole bunch of options. Let's start breaking this down. Enough talking, let's get into it. Here's All the Good Times Are Past and Gone backup. Alright, let's start breaking down this first backup for All the Good Times Are Past and Gone. The verse and the chorus actually have the same chord, so essentially any of these backup sections could work for either the verse or the chorus. What's nice about this song is we can kind of take it in 4 measure phrases, so kind of some small digestible phrases. The whole song is 16 measures long, so it divides into 4 very nicely. So let's jump into the first 4 measures and we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Okay, so let me play the first 4 measures. Do that a few times. Remember with this song is we're in 3/4 timing, so we have 3 quarter notes per measure instead of 4 quarter notes like a lot of songs you might have played. So just keep that in your mind. We're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and if we're doing 1/8 notes. So a lot of what we're going to be doing in this song is kind of converting licks that we play in 4/4 and making them work for 3/4. So that's exactly what we're going to do for measure 1. We're going to play a classic 2/5 slide on the 4th string with a forward roll. I'm going to go thumb, index, middle, strings 4, 3, 1. And then I'm going to go up and do 5, 3, 1. What's nice about 3/4 is some things are easier and some things are trickier, but one of the things that's easier is that the forward roll actually works out really nicely in 3/4. Normally with 4/4 you have to add those extra 2 beats, 2 1/8 notes or a quarter note at the end to make it work out. In 3/4 we can actually just play T-I-M, T-I-M. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and we actually can just play that for a full measure. So we're just doing 2 forward rolls. Just looping measure 1, and then we're going to walk up to a C chord. We're going to do a little bass walk. We're going to hit the open 3rd string with our thumb of our right hand, and then our middle finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, thumb of our right hand, and then open 2nd string, and then we're going to get up to this 1st fret on the 2nd string, which is our C note. So we're just walking up the major scale, G, A, B, C. The notes would be 1, 2, 3, or the degrees of the scale. So we're just walking up 1, 2, 3, 4. A very safe walk. We're just walking up the major scale. So we have. You can hear that. So. And then we're going to land here. Put your 3rd finger down on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. You can put your 2nd finger down on the 2nd fret if you want to, but a lot of times I'll just kind of leave that one off. We're actually just going to play C for 1 measure, and I'm going to do this roll. I'm going to hit my thumb on the 2nd string, and then we're going to hit our middle finger, and then go forward. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and beat 1 is a quarter note, which is really important. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 1. Now for measure 4, we're going to do that same roll just on a different set of strings and take our left hand off. So we're going to go back to open 3rd string, and then that's a quarter note, and then a 1st string, and then 5, 3, 1. We're going to use that roll a lot in this song. It's a great roll for 3, 4. So let's play 3 and 4 together, and then we'll put it all together. We have. All together, so we have. I would also play this song with a little bit of swing or a bounce, so I'm not playing the notes as straight. I'm kind of. Putting a little bit of that swing in there. So that's what I'm doing there. Accenting my thumb to bring out that walk and spell out those chords. Now the next 4 measures, that same 2-5 slide we did in measure 1. Now a little lick, we're going to hit the open 3rd string, and then go backwards, 1st string, 3rd string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, open 1st string. Basically, again, like a modification on a roll you might do in 4/4, something like this. Very common little like Scruggs fill, like we just don't have enough notes now to play that full lick, so we're going to imply that. We're going to go. So again, we slide up. The other thing we're doing there is we're embedding a little bass walk. We're hitting the open 3rd string to start measure 6, and then we're going down to the 2nd fret, and then we're eventually going to land on the open D string. So we're kind of walking down G, E, D. So that's kind of a subtle thing there. We're embedding that into a little roll. You can hear it. So. And then we're actually going to use that to go into a D chord. So I'm just going to do a 2-finger D. I've got my index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, middle finger or ring finger, whatever feels more comfortable, on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. It's basically this full D here, except we're just doing 2 fingers. And you can, like I said, you can do it this way, or you can do it this way, whatever feels more comfortable. I'd probably do it this way. And then we're going to do that same roll where we hit our thumb for a quarter note, and then we go middle and then forward. So we have. You can see we use that same roll in 3 different contexts. We used it in measure 3, in measure 4, and now in measure 7. In measure 3, we used it over a C chord. In G, we used it, or in measure 4, we used it over a G chord. Measure 7, we're using it over a D. Same, different strings every time, but the same finger pattern and combination. So that's really important to think about. So notice how we're using that same roll multiple times. So just looping measure 7. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and that's also a nice one because your thumb is hitting on the first beat of each measure to kind of keep the time. 1, 2, and 3, and 1. You know, you're kind of using that. Just make sure you don't rush through that first quarter note, okay? And then we're going to hit the open 4 string again, and then 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then 4th fret, and then open 3rd string. So we're going from a D back up to a G. We're walking back up the G major scale from D, D, E, F sharp, G. So the notes of the degrees of the scale would be 5, 6, 7, major 7, 1, root. So that's what we're doing there. We're walking back up from that D back up to our G. And then we actually do that same roll we did in measure 4. So same exact roll there. And then we put our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, play that note with our thumb of our right hand, and then do that same roll. So middle finger and then 5, 3, 1. That's essentially like a G7. We're implying we're going to lead down into a C. Hear that? So we're going from a G in measure, what is that, 9, G7 into a C. You can hear how that sets up a little bit of tension that resolves on that C chord. So we have all the way up to your 1st fret, 2nd string. Have your thumb of your right hand come down, and then do a little alternating thumb roll. 5th string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 1st string, T, I, T, M. That's a good roll to practice. So my thumb comes down. I'm just looping measure 11. So let's play 9 through 11. We have. And then actually measure 12 is just thumb, pinch, pinch. So thumb on the 3rd string, and then pinch the outside strings, thumb middle. So let's put those 4 together. So we have. Measure 13, we're going to play a little ending lick, so that same lick we played in measure 6. And then open D, so that's essentially that same walk down. This time we just do 1 measure of D. So hit that open 4 string, which gets you time to put your 3 fingers down. So I've got 2nd fret, 3rd string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, pinky on the 4th fret of the 1st string. And we're going to do that same roll, actually, thumb, and then, actually, we're going to do, and then we're going to do a roll here. So middle, index, thumb, middle. So like kind of like a backwards roll. Remember, I'm kind of swinging it a little bit. Just play along with me. So I'm adding a little bit of swing. And then measure 15 back to open G. And then do 5, 3, 1, 5. And then really important here, we have to hit the 3rd string in measure 16 with our index finger. So we have. Why do we have to do that? Because the last note of measure 15 is our thumb. We can't cheat and grab that with our thumb on the 3rd string like we normally might want to, right? We have to go right here, index. And then do a 2-5 slide, do thumb, index, thumb, middle. 4, 3, 5, 1 are the strings. So you have, that's measure measure 16, you have to start it with your index finger, very important, of your right hand, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and using that 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and rhythm a lot in this first backup. So again, count it out loud if you need to. So that's the whole first backup. Let's listen to me and Clint play that whole thing so you can hear how it sounds with the vocals.
1, 2, 3, 1. I wish to the Lord I'd never been born or died when I was young. I never would have seen your sparkling blue eyes or heard your lying tongue. Well, 1, 2, 3, 1. I wish